Hello, good afternoon once again. Welcome to my channel Tech Bandela, and to dear students, today we are going to study about the MIG welding. So as the MIG welding is also known as GMAW. So MIG welding is also known as GMAW. That means it is a gas metal arc welding. Gas metal arc welding, sometimes it is known as that is MIG inert gas welding. MIG inert gas welding also, or it is known as gas metal arc welding. Okay, first of all we see that the setup or requirement of this MIG welding. So for this MIG welding, this is the workpiece. The workpiece is connected to the positive. This is your AC or DC source supply. The negative terminal is given to the consumable electrode. So here one thing you have to remember, there's in MIG type of welding we use consumable electrodes. Now this consumable electrode is in form of a reel, is the form of a long reel, and which is passed by means of these feeding rollers. So these are two feeding rollers. These feeding rollers rotates, this feeding roller rotates in opposite directions and feed this electrode into this chamber or into this torch. Now this chamber you can see that this chamber consists of a hollow where inert gas is supplied, to this chamber. Generally we use argon or helium, inert gas for shielding. So whenever the current is given, you switch on the connections, the current is given and when positive is given. So generally we can see that what are the requirements or equipments we required is, that is, we need a gas supply, that is argon or helium. We used electrical powers, AC or DC. Third one is electrode holders. This is the electrode holder. Connecting cables, flexible connecting cables you need. Consumable electrode, so here we need a consumable electrode. Filler rod may or may not be required according to the application. Flexible hoses for gas supply, that. Now how the arc is produced? The arc is struck between the electrode and workpiece. The arc is struck between or generated between the electrode and workpiece when they are brought near to each other. And there is a gap between only 4 to 5 mm or 2 to 3 mm. So due to 5 mm, 3 to mm, what happens? There is a formation due to high temperature. There is a formation of ionization column. And arc is produced between the consumable electrode and your workpiece, and the temperature may reaches near about 3000 degrees centigrade. And at the same time you can see that this inert gas is also coming from the from this nozzle or this orifice, right? The inert gas is also coming from this. So purpose of this inert gas is to create the shielding. Previously also we have talked that the what is the purpose of a inert gas is that is nothing but it is to create a shielding so that the atmosphere air should not rush to during the welding zone. So if the welding zone, the atmosphere air rushes, then oxidation process will happen. If the oxidation process will happen during the welding zone, then air bubbles may trap in this welding, and after cooling these air bubbles may reduce the weakness, or they reduce the strength of the weld. So we use the argon gas or helium gas as a um, shielding. The diameter of orifice may also vary from 10 to 22 mm. 10 mm to 22 mm the orifice. This is the orifice opening of the torch. The orifice diameter may vary from 10 to 22 mm depending upon the applications. So here the wire diameter, also you can see that it is from 0.75 to 2.25 mm diameter is consumable electrode is we are using according to the application. So another advantages, what is the advantages? The high quality weld as compared to arc welding, because there is no formation of slag. In previous arc weldings or compared to your metal carbon arc welding, slag is a lot of amount of slag is produced, but here the quality of weld is good as compared to arc welding. speed of welding is possible, speeding of the welding is possible as compared to arc welding. This type of welding is you can do at a faster rate, you can do welding at a very faster rate. Various type of welding metals, non-metals, different types of metal, right? Different type of metal can be also welded by these techniques. Disadvantage is that overhead welding is not possible. Overhead welding is not possible. It is somewhat difficult in doing in mid welding. That's why it is a slightly disadvantage. Rather things are quite easy to understand. Most of the now things are changing according to technology, and people are using MIG welding as compared to arc welding. So I hope you all understand what is meant by MIG welding. So MIG welding consists of a torch, inert gas, and the most important is consumable electrode. So consumable electrode is only used in MIG. And shielding, for shielding we are using argon gas or helium gas. So here the arc is formed between the electrode and workpiece. Okay students, hope you understand. Any queries, we will see it in the chat section.